Hi, welcome to another edition of the Weekly Wrap, where we talk about news nuggets mined from the weekly newspapers. I'm Cal Anderson, local activist and your host. We have a special guest today who probably needs no introduction, but we're going to anyway. He's Mr. Beyond Walls and just was named the Lynn Daily Item's Lynn Person of the Year. Let me introduce Al Wilson.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Well, sorry about that. See, Al's kind of humble and shy about this. Even though he came into our city with a wonderful grand plan and idea that was embraced and is infectious and everybody's sort of taking it over, he's humble at heart. So I'm springing this on him, and maybe I'm bad, but we just had to do this because this is how we feel about you and our city. I know that it's a collaborative effort, and you're about to mention some of the other names. But thanks and congratulations on your honor for being the Lynn Person of the Year. Well,
thank you for that, Calvin, and thanks for having me on.
So tell us about Beyond Walls and who is Beyond Walls.
Well, you know, it's a great team. It's Amanda Hill, Pedro Soto, and now Julia Midland, who was a volunteer this last year, and she's now joined us full time. But obviously we got to work with a fantastic committee, and then really I think it was the community that all came together and everybody picked up a lot of weight to pull this off.
Just briefly explain what happened last summer.
Yeah, so we did a international mural festival featuring international and local artists that put up 15 pieces of large-scale public art, all from July.
We have some of them represented in our set today.
Yeah, so July 13th to the 23rd, and then we did a big Rock the Block party with the Cultural District, so a lot of fun.
And that brought thousands of new people into our city, and it's just start of what we call the big momentum. So I understand that Beyond Walls has a summer planned for 2018 as well. What's coming up?
We do. I mean, right now, you know, there's an awful lot of, you know, we're on to 2018 in a big way, and our focus is on the lighting installations. So we've got underpass lighting of these 3 underpasses that right now are not lit.
This is where the MBTA crosses on elevated tracks through our city.
That's correct. Central Square, Washington, and Market Street, as well as some vintage neon artwork that we've hung 3 of these pieces. 2 are on the Union Street side and 1 on Washington Street, right across from the Lynn Museum. But we have another 9 pieces that are being hung, and we're doing this with our friends at IBEW 103, the Electricians Union. So they're hard at work right now, helping us. And actually, if you want to give them a pat on the back, they'll be in Land of 1,000 Hills at 9 a.m. this coming Monday. So.
Well, good. For those of you that are catching this on YouTube or Facebook over the weekend, that's a time and placeholder for you.
Yeah.
It's this coming Monday. What's the date?
Oh man.
Whatever it is.
Put me on the spot.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, this telecast all next week, so it might be a little bit after that.
Oh, okay.
As far as raising funds, how is this endeavor funded, and how do people get involved?
Yeah, so we had over 1,400 residents of Lynn donate to the project, as well as then the business community really supported us. Ultimately, we were successful at receiving grants, including from Highland Street Foundation, the Bar Foundation, and many others. And then Union, DC 35 and IBEW 103 both contributed financially and as well with in-kind donation of union labor.
Wonderful. So we're just kind of expecting things to sleep through the winter. When should we expect to see some more activity outdoors in downtown Lynn?
Well, you'll be seeing it next week. So
this is with the vintage signs being hung.
And on the underpass.
Oh,
so
really?
the underpass is really, again, utilizing IBEW 103 and their apprenticeship program. Right now we're having some of the pieces of Unistrut, right, basically 10-foot sections that are getting hung under these underpasses.
I've been seeing some samplings.
Yeah, they're being prefabricated. So we'll start that installation, and that'll run into March when all of our lighting hardware arrives, and hopefully we can light these up towards the end of March.
Good. Now, Al was on the show a few months ago. We'll have him back again for round 3. But this is exciting because this isn't just a one-shot project. It's a work in progress, and everybody can be involved one way or another, either contributors financially, with labor, or just come out and enjoy and tell everybody that doesn't live in Lynn, all your friends, Lynn's a destination.
That's it. If they go on beyond-walls.org or follow us on Facebook or Instagram at Beyond Walls Lynn, they can find out more information about us and also join us for our meetings. We've got a committee meeting coming up this Tuesday, but at North Shore Community College at 6 o'clock at night. Everybody's welcome to join us there.
So just stay involved. We'll be keeping touch. Now, we got some things that are timely from the previous week. First of all, I want to mention in the Lynn Journal, look who we have on page 3. An interview with our brand new executive director, Brian Dorrington at LCTV. We just had to point that out. Now, you noticed something while we were looking at it about the Gateway North residences. What did you have to say about that?
I just think it's a fantastic project. You know, the Lynn Housing Authority has really got behind this project and seen it through, and now you're actually seeing what the building's going to look like, and I think it's a great building, but for us, it's
changing the whole look in that neighborhood, especially with the Frantz Project going on, too. You look down there now, what used to be blank walls or empty space, it's all residence windows. It's bringing a whole new dynamic to there. And it's right across from the community college.
Yeah, that's right. And it's low income, it's subsidized housing,
as
well
families.
As market rate.
This is the important thing. It's the first example of the new program in the Commonwealth to have not just subsidized housing, but for people who are working, might have families, but need a little bit of more of affordability.
Mixed
income.
This
is a wonderful experiment.
Yep.
Lynn's out, but Boston, Somerville, and Revere are still in the running for the Amazon, what's it, #2 headquarters or whatever. Yep. They're going to choose either Boston, Revere, or Somerville, I think we're going to have some coattails. I think it can only help us out, too. Yeah. It's a regional thing going on, so let's keep an eye on this. Fire safety. The Lynn Fire Department just got $14,000 to promote fire safety. And that's important because this is the fire season. Last week we lost a very major Broad Street building. It was gutted, the top part, but now they're just tearing it down because it was too far gone. So I just want to point out, to be prepared, have your first initial early warning signals going for CO2 and flames. But if you live in an upper floor, let me show you what my niece got me as my favorite holiday present this year. She got me an escape ladder. So always have one of these if you live above the first floor.
I have one.
Hopefully you never have to use it.
That's right.
Another thing we've got, oh my gosh, speaking of downtown Lynn and lighting, Al's been involved with this endeavor too.
Yeah, well, you know, Center Board had an event last night over at 16 City Hall Square. I think it's a fantastic program that they've put together, and now they're going to light it permanently.
This is the lighting of our High Rock Tower.
Yeah.
So you've been hearing about it,
very cool project. Yep.
That's going. Just want to mention that a few days ago on Martin Luther King Day, Learn More, Earn More group is in town. It's teaching and promoting English as a second language to eliminate glass ceilings in some communities. And they said they're going to come on the show in a few weeks, so we're going to welcome them back in a few weeks. I just want to point this out so you can look at it yourself.
It was a fantastic turnout over at the Lynn Museum, and Jamie Figueroa, who was heavily involved in putting that together. Yep. Pretty impressive.
This is from the New York Times, or actually the Wall Street Journal. I was in New York last week, and I was picking up the locals. Just an interesting thing. Bets against malls come up short. Hey, malls aren't just closing. They're reinventing themselves. There's some creative stuff going on, and I'm sure you're involved with this too.
Yep.
You know, using arts and entertainment and just reinventing the mall. So keep an eye on this. We kind of wrap this up now, Al. I just want to thank you for being on the show again and keeping the momentum going and just being a good presence in our downtown Lynn, and it's infectious, as I said. So hit you right on it. You want to wrap us up and bring us home?
Sure can.
All right. You've done it before. Thanks, Al.
Until next time, in every way and every day, keep loving Lynn.